Hello and welcome to Eduleader Speaks by Education World. This is Reshma Ravishankar. We have with us Ms. Kavita Sanghvi. Kavita Sanghvi is the principal of Chatrabhuj Narsee Memorial School, Parle, Mumbai, and has been among the 46 countrywide teachers to be selected by the Union Ministry of Education for the National Awards for Indian Teachers, which is presented by President Droupadi Murmu. Having pursued her master's in physics and MPhil in education from Mumbai University, Sanghvi has over 22 years of experience as an educator. Welcome, Ms. Sanghvi.
Thank you.
So do you believe that, now that children have returned to school and it's been over a year, do you believe that we've made up for the learning loss that was induced during the pandemic?
Yes, we did, because when the students came back last year, there were a lot of learning gaps. And we had to bridge the gap program for our students. And we had intensive 4 months, back and forth research happening with the students, analysis of the results happening. So now confidently, I can say by this August 22, we had bridged the gaps, where we saw a couple of things where there were emotional, physical, some kind of, gaps that also we've tried to bridge it across. So yes, I think we're pretty good now.
Okay. When in terms of soft skills and children's behavior, what were some significant changes that you noticed once they started returning to school? And do you think they're all back to normal in terms of behavior?
So when we talk about soft skills, I noticed when the students came back, there was a problem with confidence. Because suddenly you're in the house, you're not presenting, you're not in front of a group of people. So they become sort of a loners. So that was something that we had to look into, confidence. So we made sure that this time, whatever event, all the students had to mandatorily participate and perform. That brings out the confidence. So confidence was something that we really looked into. Second thing was a sort of self-doubt, because am I doing this correctly? Which earlier they never had this, but now they did develop this across. So that was another thing that we worked upon, self-doubt. So a couple of things we have been really intensively analyzing it, performing action researches to check whether we're doing right by the students.
All right. Now, the union budget for 2023-24 was presented on February 1st. What would some of your significant observations include, when we're talking about school education in particular?
So I know the budget this time has been a little generous for schools. So that's something which is very, very positive. They are wanting to do a lot. There's a lot of drive for schools, which I again feel is a very positive note for everything. They want to bring the entire country together. That's also very, very positive. When they're talking about making sure that the gaps between rural, urban, everything is getting reduced. So I think the kind of schemes they're coming up with shows that they have a very progressive attitude now towards education. So I actually see that the budget has been very fruitful, and if implemented the way they want it to be implemented, then the kind of outcomes will be much more.
Okay, so when we're talking about a progression, India is at a very significant stage in the education sector right now. We're talking about the implementation of the National Education Policy 2020 for children. So what are some areas you think that can be improved?
So when we talk of national education policy, I think first of all, the policy is amazing. It's very, very progressive. Once again, I say that. What it needs to improve is, first of all, we have brought in something like this, but the monitoring is something that has to be now strengthened. How is it that you're going to monitor that I at Parle and somebody at another city or tier 2 city or someone in the same city also are doing the same things? I mean, things are policy, whatever you expected out, things to be done is happening. For example, you said that there should be more emphasis on STEM, more emphasis on girls' education coming across, more emphasis on coding, more emphasis on vocational education. How are you measuring it?
Okay.
How do you know we're doing it? So that is something that has to come across. Is what is the measure that you're going to take to make sure that all this is getting implemented in every single place?
Okay. Okay, okay. Now, the National Curriculum Framework has been, the draft rather, has been released, and they've asked for feedback from various stakeholders. What would your feedback include?
I think my feedback is that, first of all, I really like the detailing that they have done. When I talk about the National Curriculum Framework, I like the way that they have brought in across the Sanskrit terms and connected with the English terms, because I also did not know these entire 5 sheets. Honestly, I was not aware of this, physical development, the Sharirik Vikas, we speak about it, but we do not talk in terms of Sharirik Vikas or Pranik Vikas or Mansi Vikas, Bauddhic Vikas. So now we talk about this Vikas and connected with the growth. We are aligning our entire Indian system with the Western, whatever we have learned across. Yes. And that amalgamation, that synchronization is what was needed. And that, I think, is the most beautiful part of this entire national curriculum. Moreover, it has got a lot of structure given to it, where it goes from goals, competencies, learning outcomes. Also, when it talks about domains, it talks about physical domain, social economic domain, cognitive domain, a language literacy domain, and most important, I love the aesthetic domain. Okay. So when they talk about these domains, I think when they say aesthetic domains, what do you understand about yourself? What you like about yourself? I think it's allowing people to introspect and go within themselves. So that is something I really, really appreciate and really liked about it. Again, once again, it is given across, but how many of us have read it?
Certainly, I think that's one question that all educators should be asking. Certainly, certainly. So the following questions are, one-word questions. Who's that one thinker or philosopher that you follow?
John Dewey. Practical approach, completely pragmatic.
Okay. And a Nobel laureate that you admire?
I'm a physics person, so obviously Albert Einstein.
Okay, okay. One, if you can describe your leadership style in a word?
Transformational leadership.
Okay. A book on education that you think everybody should be reading?
Drive. Because I believe that every single, exactly what motivates us, people think that, the money motivates us. Nothing. It's not money at all.
All right. All right. This was a very insightful discussion. Thank you so much for being with us, Ms. Sanghvi.
Thank you so much.